Have you ever wondered how researchers make sure survey results accurately represent the people they're studying? Stratified random sampling is one of the methods researchers use to make that happen. I'm Sissy with Jotform, and in this video we will explore what stratified random sampling is, how it works, when to use it, and some of the advantages and disadvantages that come along with it. We will also look at how survey tools can make the entire process easier to manage from start to finish. Let's jump right in. Stratified random sampling is a data collection method that divides a larger population into smaller groups called strata. Each strata shares similar characteristics such as age, income, race, gender, or education level. Researchers then randomly select participants from each subgroup to build a final sample that reflects the makeup of the total population. Because the final sample includes proportional representation from each subgroup, this method is also called proportional random sampling, or quota random sampling. Researchers often compare responses from the different strata to identify patterns between groups. This method is useful for audience segmentation, academic research, market studies, and business research. Instead of treating a population as one large group, stratified random sampling recognizes that different groups may have different perspectives or behaviors. One way to think about this method is as a divide and conquer approach to data collection. Instead of taking one random sample from a broad population and hoping it accurately reflects everyone, researchers organize the population into meaningful categories first. After that, they randomly sample from each subgroup. The result is a final sample that mirrors the proportions of the larger population. Proportionality is one of the most important parts of stratified random sampling. For example, if women make up 52% of the population being studied, then 52% of the final sample should also come from that subgroup. This helps researchers build representation into the process from the beginning instead of depending on chance. This method is especially useful for different industries. Market analysts use it to study consumer behavior, while public health researchers may use it to examine disease prevalence across different groups. Academic researchers also rely on it when studying demographic differences within large populations. Performing stratified random sampling involves several important steps. The first step is defining the total population you want to study. That population could include residents of a city, college students, employees at a company, or another clearly defined group. Once the population is identified, researchers determine the strata they want to use. The strata may be based on age, income, race, nationality, education level, or gender. Each participant should belong to only one subgroup. After defining the strata, researchers calculate the sample size needed for each group. For example, imagine a total population of 10,000 people with a survey sample size of 500. If 2,000 people in the population fall into the 18 to 29 age group, that subgroup represents 20% of the population. As a result, 20% of the final sample, or 100 respondents, should come from that age bracket. This keeps the final sample proportional to the original population. After calculating the sample sizes, researchers randomly select participants from each subgroup. They may use the methods such as simple random sampling or systematic random sampling. With probability sampling, every person in the population has an equal chance of being selected. After the samples are confirmed, the subgroup data is combined into one representative sample. Researchers can then conduct surveys and begin analyzing the results. Online survey tools can simplify this process by helping researchers build surveys, customize questions, and distribute forms efficiently. There are many situations where stratified random sampling works especially well. Medical researchers may use it to examine disease prevalence across age groups, such as 18 to 29, 30 to 45, 50 to 65, and older populations. Health organizations may also use it to create lifestyle campaigns based on exercise habits, income, or eating behaviors. Businesses often use this method for market research and demographic targeting. A restaurant trying to attract younger customers could divide participants into different age ranges and ask questions about dining habits and menu preferences. Academic researchers may also use stratified sampling when studying large populations, such as college graduates. Researchers studying opinions or attitudes may also rely on this method. For example, a study examining opinions about religion across age groups in the United States could use stratified samples from different age ranges. B2B software companies may also use it to study user behavior among daily users, monthly users, and disengaged users. HR teams can even use stratified random sampling to measure employee satisfaction across different levels of seniority. Even though stratified random sampling is powerful, it is not always the best option. It can become difficult if researchers do not have reliable data about the characteristics needed to define subgroups. The process may also be unnecessary when the population is small enough for a simpler sampling method. Budget and time constraints can also create challenges. Stratified random sampling requires extra planning, classification work, and organization compared with simpler methods. Researchers must make sure every participant fits into one subgroup only. If people overlap between categories, the accuracy of the sample can suffer. One of the biggest advantages of stratified random sampling is that it reduces the likelihood of biased samples. Since researchers draw random participants from every subgroup, important groups are less likely to be excluded accidentally. This creates a more representative sample overall. Another advantage is improved precision. When people within a subgroup share similar characteristics, the results often reflect the larger population more accurately. Researchers can collect meaningful insights without surveying every single member of a large population. That can save both time and money during the research process. There are disadvantages to consider as well. Researchers must gather detailed information about every participant before grouping them into strata. In large or complicated populations, this process can become time-consuming. If researchers make mistakes while classifying participants, overlapping groups can reduce the reliability of the final data. Understanding stratified random sampling is important, but collecting organized data is equally important. Even a well-designed sampling method can produce poor results if survey distribution and data collection are difficult to manage. That is why many researchers use online survey platforms to simplify the process. Jotform gives researchers practical tools for managing stratified sampling projects more efficiently. Users can choose from thousands of survey templates covering research topics like consumer feedback, demographic profiling, health assessments, and academic studies. Researchers can also generate customized surveys quickly using the AI survey generator. Conditional logic allows researchers to guide respondents to subgroup-specific questions based on their answers. That means one survey form can work for multiple strata without confusing participants. On the back end, Jotform Tables automatically organizes responses so researchers can sort and filter data more easily. Reporting tools can then turn raw survey responses into charts and summaries for analysis. Researchers who need more advanced options can also use offline data collection, submission limits, and integrations with tools like Google Sheets and Microsoft Excel. These features help teams manage sample sizes and continue analyzing data across different platforms. We hope this makes your research process easier. Thanks for watching today. I'm Sissy with Jotform. Be sure to subscribe and we'll see you again soon.